Is aging at a rapid rate, forcing more and more people to make a very tough decision of when to stop driving.
For most people, driving is independent. So how do you ask someone to give up their keys? And what do you do if they are a real danger, but they won't give them up? As you'll find out tonight, there are no easy answers, but there is hope for the future. Fox 9's Roland Barris reports.
Now, is there any particular place you'd like to go?
No. This is the only driving Kirk Sullivan does since his legs were injured about 3 years ago.
The desire to go do something that you've done all your life, then you don't get to do it.
Sullivan lives in a retirement community where he can still drive his golf cart on private property, but that's it.
So you have to depend on somebody else. We're still transitioning.
Really?
Yes, after 2 years.
Sullivan gave up his license on his own, but he understands why many don't.
It was very hard because, you sit and think, well, I got to run down to the drugstore. Well, can't drive.
It's going to be one of the toughest decisions that a family will ever make.
AAA sees it all the time. Kids who find themselves telling their parents they need to stop driving.
Maybe we should be taking away your license. Boy, that's nasty language to a senior that's lived his whole life behind the wheel.
The problem is seniors who must renew their license every 4 years after the age of 65 don't have to take an on-road evaluation. Sullivan got his license after his legs were injured.
Oh, with 2 walking sticks, I hobbled in and propped up against the wall. 3 minutes later, I had my driver's license renewed and hobbled out.
Were you surprised?
Yes.
So what's a family member to do when they know that a loved one is dangerous on the road? Experts say it starts with a polite discussion and education.
It says, I feel nervous, agitated, or irritated while driving.
AARP offers a class for seniors that includes a self-evaluation.
That means it's them doing it and not somebody else saying, you're not a good driver.
Upon completion of the class, seniors can get a break on insurance, and AAA has an online test for things like reaction time.
It's got things that are moving, floating, and you're supposed to click on it or fill in a blank. One is spatial relationships.
And if all that still fails to convince them?
Send a letter to the state, the Department of Motor Vehicles, recommending that this parent not be issued a license and give the reasons why that is.
Just remember, the letter will not be anonymous, which could cause real problems at home. Someday, though, this all might not even matter. This truck recently drove a shipment by itself through Colorado, and Tesla creator Elon Musk says self-driving cars could be ready in a year. That would take this problem away, wouldn't it?
It would certainly be a big solution.
But until then, Sullivan has this advice.
You got to be honest with yourself. Am I jeopardizing my family? Am I jeopardizing my friends by driving on the highway? And when you can cross those two and say yes or no to them, then to me you cross the first big hurdle.
Again, ITD says a request from a close family member can lead to an on-road evaluation as well as a medical and visual exam. But again, keep this in mind, the request is not anonymous, so your family member will know you turn them in.